Hello, Grand Strand. Welcome back to Talking About Food. This is Richard Florzak, the private chef to the stars, and you have joined us on the only local food commentary show on the Grand Strand. We talk specifically about restaurants, food trucks, festivals, and farmers markets. We like interviewing local chefs, local business owners, and especially the social media people that know what's going on here. I say we talk to some of my celebrity friends, whether celebrity or not. The topic is always food because nothing brings people together like great food and the social media giants of the Grand Strand. And we have two of them in the studio today. They both have been on Talking About Food. As a matter of fact, one of them sent me right before the show, sent me a link to the latest Joe Rogan show, which has my former boss, Mel Gibson, on. And I thought to myself, the nerve of that man, Mel Gibson, using me to get to Joe Rogan. I mean, think about it. Boy, I'll tell you, I'm going to have to talk with him about that. But no, I started listening to it. It's terrific. But anyway, we have Amy Everhart, also known as the Myrtle Beach Foodie Babe, and we have Sophia Edens, also known as the Content Food Critic, back in the studio, and welcome back to both of you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to do that. Amy, you were telling me before we went on the air to do this about Restaurant Week. Can you give us a little background as to how that works, when it is, how it works, and anything else that we should know about?
Sure. So it started today on the 9th and it runs until the 19th. It's just a handful of restaurants in the area that are doing a prefixed menu with options for appetizers, entrees, and desserts for a set price. It's usually pretty good value, so it's one of our favorite times, actually.
Are all the restaurants the same price?
No,
they're
all vary.
different.
Their menus vary. It's very specific to the individual restaurant.
Right.
Sophia and I actually went to Croissants last year together for it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good food, and we really felt like it was a good bang for our bucks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you like going there too, right?
Yeah.
Or taking advantage of that in the best sense.
Oh, for sure. It's appetizing and affordable. It hits every price mark for me.
That's always a great selling point. So do you know any of them, Amy, that you would like to try out?
So I'm going to Black Drum Brewing tomorrow for lunch, actually. I don't know what their menu is. Some have it posted online. I didn't have a chance today to look, so hopefully they have some good options. Actually,
before I go any further, what is the best way for the listeners to find out where what restaurants are involved?
So the South Carolina Restaurant Week has a website, and they're also on Instagram, probably Facebook as well. Or you can just go to your favorite restaurant's Facebook page and look to see if they posted the menu on there.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's at South Carolina Restaurant Week. Cool. Very cool. Okay. Which restaurant would you like to try out, Sophia?
I don't know. I don't really like to give away my secrets when I do visit restaurants.
Okay.
But there are two on the top of my mind, Rivertown Bistro and Bonfire Taqueria.
Yeah.
In Conway. I met the chef, Darren Smith. He's fantastic. Got to try some of his food at a private event for the local palate, a magazine, and it was amazing. So I'm looking forward to trying his restaurants.
Excellent. Wow. Yeah, I love doing this show. It just makes me so hungry. I started a diet right after the first of the year. It's just killing me. Up and down. That's all I ever do. If you don't mind, if you can just take a minute, both of you, and explain the differences in each of your works, what you do. Amy Everhart, Myrtle Beach Foodie Babe.
So I consider myself an influencer.
I want to clarify something. In Los Angeles, owning a restaurant, I got a bad taste in my mouth sometimes with food influencers because, the restaurant world, operating a restaurant was new to me. And it wasn't until I was involved in the business for a while that I realized I was being taken advantage of. Now, I knew this before you and I had our discussion last time. And I knew that you had a passion for this, and it was not money motivated. If I didn't know that for sure, I wouldn't have asked you on the show. I just wouldn't do that because that's not the way I operate.
When I go into a restaurant and I'm, whether it's promotion or just somewhere that my husband and I have chose to go for a date night, I want to put it out there to the community that, hey, this is an option for you. This is what the food looks like. This is what we ate, and this is what we enjoyed. And usually that is influential to other people saying, oh, wow. And I get a lot of people that just moved here that said, your page is amazing. It's been a huge help with finding restaurants in the area. And that's really what I'm here to do, is promote local restaurants.
Yeah, it's also been a help in packing pounds on me, because there are certain times where I'll actually avoid your posts because
I've heard that before.
So, my God, this food looks so good. Sophia, your approach.
Absolutely. Like I mentioned in the last episode, that my writing style is very different. I really try to take the approach of a professional food critic. I know I have a lot to learn, but I've been reading a lot of LA Times critics, New York Times food critics, and really taking this as seriously as I possibly can. And that involves visiting restaurants 3 and 4 times in order to get a clear review for my audience. My audience really trusts my words, and I recognize that words have weight and it can tarnish a restaurant. I'm not here for that. I don't want to write negative reviews. Negative reviews do get the most readership, but I'm not here to write those. I'm here to seek out the most appetizing and affordable restaurants along the Grand Strand.
And that's great. And I hope you can keep that up. I have to be perfectly honest. Recently, I'm having a difficult time with it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's because, I come from an area that's got millions of more people and restaurants, but I find myself getting a little bit more annoyed than I was when I first moved here. So I don't know if you guys have that issue that sometimes you just want to say, are you kidding me? Or here's the other thing too, and I mean this sincerely, this has not happened with either one of you, but there are a lot of people that post pictures.
Yes.
And I'll seek out some of those places and I'll think, am I in the same place that they were talking about? Mm-hmm. So
I've seen that, firsthand. Sometimes the city will hire influencers outside of our city to come visit.
Right.
And they'll report on specific restaurants that they're told to go eat at because they're getting paid to do so as advertising. And that's totally fine, but there is a preconception for that. And sometimes as locals, we see right through it. And sometimes there's a way where I want to just kindly comment, hey, you should check out this restaurant instead next time when you're visiting.
Oh, wow. Do you come up against that?
I do.
Yeah.
I see it all the time, and I kind of cringe a little.
Yeah. And I wish there was a way for people who aren't in the positions that we're in to know that. Like, I mean, I can spot it a mile away, and it sounds like the both of you can too, which is very important. And it's great because you both report honestly. I just don't know how much longer I can do that, Anyway, we'll start with Amy. I was thinking about this after you were on the show last time. What instigates a first visit to a restaurant for you?
Usually it's just somewhere that my husband and I are like, hey, let's go check this out. I've had a list for the past 2 years. It's probably 80 restaurants long.
And how do you come up with that list? Does that come from word of mouth? Something you just pass a restaurant?
Yeah, sometimes it's other people have posted about something and it intrigues me. Like you said, you see the pictures and you're like, okay, wow, that looks really good. I also like to support some of my, I would say, the owners of the restaurants that I know that also support me with just sharing and commenting on my stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it doesn't take a lot to support. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to support a friend. It's just liking and commenting, sharing a post. It's completely free. So
and I believe all three of us feel the same way. We are big on privately owned, sort of mom and pop places. I just dig that. I just dig that so much. What about you, Sophia? Why do you go to a restaurant the first time?
It's intriguing. I want to know everything about everything when I step into a restaurant. I want to know how they operate. I want to know if their wait staff is making TikToks for the restaurant.
Right, but
that's on the job. I want to know everything.
But that's once you're there.
Once I'm there, yeah.
Yeah, but what about before that? Is it word of mouth? Is it social media?
Kind of stalking the restaurant's social media. So not really word of mouth from other people, but I'll stalk some restaurant social media. I'll stalk their menu. I'll go online. I'll see how they're cooking their food, where they're ordering from. I always kind of sneakily ask, where are you sourcing your ingredients from? So that's a big thing for me.
I feel like Sophia is very chef oriented.
Yes.
She wants to get to know the chefs. She wants to know, like she said, are you using sustainably sourced products? What's going into the final plate?
Yeah. Okay. So
that's what intriguing to me.
But you sort of end up with the same product. I mean, you, Amy, are going at it slightly differently than she is, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's all of you, which is a great segue into the next question. Amy, what is your criteria that you use when doing some sort of commentary or critique on the restaurant? I say critique loosely because you don't. We had this conversation last time. You and I think the three of us are cut from the same cloth. We're not going to badmouth anybody. It's just us. So what is your criteria?
It's funny that you brought this up. I posted about a restaurant that I personally enjoy. I got amazing pictures. The food tasted so good. I posted it, got a lot of interest on social media, and I went back 2 days later, and one of the dishes, I took a picture of it, and I showed it to my husband. I said, this was the dish the last time we came in, which was 2 days ago, and this is what they gave us today, and it was night and day difference.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm not going to post that. I sent it to the owners, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know, I enjoy your food. This is what it looked like one night, and then I came back 2 nights later, and this is what it looked like. And I know different staff is on different cooking methods, but this one was dry, like not aesthetically pleasing in the presentation. Yeah. And I'm not going to put that out there to the world, but I will let them know. Like,
how did they handle that with you?
They didn't write me back.
Wow.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked that they didn't respond.
I'm completely dumbfounded. I just can't. I can't believe that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's so shocking. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. What about you, Sophia? Your criteria. I know you said the last time. It sounds like she spends like $2,000 in a restaurant before she'll write about it.
Yeah, it's there was one restaurant. It's no longer.
You better charge.
No longer here.
You better charge a heck of a lot for your articles.
Ugh, I definitely, being a freelance writer's not for the weak. No, there was this one restaurant that it's not here anymore, and I spent so much money just because I had this strong bond with the chef. He was so talented. Just amazing people, and it's no longer there. So now I'm on the hunt for something similar.
Yeah, why isn't it here anymore?
I guess business costs. The chef left and moved to Florida.
Yeah,
and they tried to replace him. And I waited a month and did another review and reviewed that chef, and it just was not the same. And then they, got rid of it and changed it to a breakfast spot.
Wow. What annoys you both the most about restaurants in general? What Amy, what comes to mind? It just annoys. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what mine is. I hear about a restaurant. Maybe I see one of your posts. And you know what? It's never happened with either one of you. But I'll see a post and I want to look. It strikes a nerve with me. I want to look it up and see. They don't have a website.
Ooh,
they have a Facebook page as a website. Drives me nuts. Mm-hmm. What about you, Amy?
So mine is not being acknowledged. If I walk into a restaurant, somebody look up and say hi if someone's coming in the door. Not just me in particular. And I'll watch, and 3 people will walk in and no one's acknowledging them.
Yeah.
It's like walking into somebody's house and they're not acknowledging that you were coming.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Sophia?
Price gouging. Not the economy, but truly that's what annoys me. If I go to a restaurant one year and it's completely different the next. It's very strange to me.
Yeah.
Very strange. Very annoying.
Yeah. What I think I hit on this the last time, but it's so special to me, you know, the customer service, and what you both said is part of that world, customer service. But I was thinking about this the other day when I had my nephew on, who's the CEO of a restaurant group in Dallas, and he comes from, you know, an enormously successful restaurant. I don't want to say chain because they're all owned by one man, but customer service is prime, very important in that. And he was explaining some of the things that happen or don't happen. But what areas of the restaurant business will you cut them a break with? In other words, let's just say you go in and people, Amy, didn't recognize you standing at the door, you know, there for 20 minutes, but you sit down and the food is out of this world. You cut it a break? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, good food is good food. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
If the food's good and the service isn't the best, it's not going to be high on my list to go back to, but I'm not going to just totally cut it off.
Would you ever mention it to the management?
Absolutely.
You would say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I've actually told people that this was one of the worst experiences I've had, and hopefully can make it better, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, here's how I would make it better if this was me personally. I worked in the restaurant industry for like 10 years, so
Yeah.
I understand that some people have bad days. I get that, but I definitely will address it.
Here on the Grand Strand, how many times would you say that you've had that experience?
I honestly, just a handful,
3 or 4 times.
maybe a couple more.
Yeah.
Just feel like we have some of the, I don't know the term, the tourist traps.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like I experience it the most. So I kind of tend to stick with my local mom and pop. Like I said, we know some of the owners of restaurants, so we like to support them.
Yeah.
If it's a huge restaurant, especially, and I'm walking in and no one's recognizing, saying hello, anything like that, it's a big turnoff. And even if the food was good, I would come back, but it's not going to be high on my list.
You know, if we can just stay on this for a second, 'cause it's very interesting to me, especially the way you positioned it. Let's just say if 5 times it's happened to you, and you speak to the management about it. Did most times the management hear what you were saying and seem concerned about it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a step in the right direction. What about you, Miss Edens?
If there's a busy night at the bar, I'll cut it some slack if, my old fashioned isn't made too perfect.
Right.
But if it's an empty bar, brand new restaurant with high priced drinks, I expect a good old fashioned.
Yeah. And they better
come through.
Better be on point. What about when you go to a new restaurant? I say new, one you haven't been to yet, and you say, I do this often. I'll say, tell me what's good on the menu, and the response is everything.
No, there's usually a fan favorite, something that all the locals come back for.
Yep.
Tell me what that is, please.
We had in my restaurant in Los Angeles, there was this lady, she was from Switzerland, and that was her career in Switzerland. I never knew this. All throughout Europe, people will choose food service as a career. She could sell ice to an Eskimo, right? And I believe I had the best Caesar salad ever made, right? And she would walk up to a table of 4, and they would say, "What's good?" And she would say, "Let me tell you. The Caesar salad here," she said, "I've lived all over the world, is the best Caesar salad I've ever had. 4 people, how about if I bring 2 Caesar salads, and if you don't like them, you don't pay for it. And then once you're having that, I'll explain some of my other favorites." I'd be like, how did I find this
That's
woman?
incredible.
Yeah. What would you both like to see change in the Grand Strand food scene?
I think I'm already seeing it changed. Crave just went into an Old Bonefish Grill and did a complete remodel. I haven't been in yet. I've just seen the pictures, so that's very high on my list. But it looks absolutely beautiful. And the fact that they were just this local, just family-owned restaurant, and they moved into a huge establishment that used to be a successful chain it's impressive to me.
Yeah, explain to the listeners more about Crave. I've heard about it a number of times, but I can't remember what type of food.
Crave is an Italian restaurant.
Yeah. What style?
That's a really good question. I don't know off the top of my hand. I've only been to the North Myrtle Beach one a handful of times. Everything I had was delicious.
But you like it.
Service was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinks were good. Chocolate martini was
Ooh.
I'm going to have to start serving drinks when you ladies come in.
Yeah, really.
Sophia Edens, what would you like to see happen on the Grand Strand food scene?
More support for our local creators. Yeah, there's a lot of outsourcing creators, and we've got a ton of them here.
Yeah.
We're right here. We love these businesses.
Yeah.
We're here to support you
What
guys.
do you mean when you say, I know what outsourcing means, but when you say outsourcing creators?
I think the city of Myrtle Beach really likes influencers and influencers that have a high follower count, but sometimes follower count doesn't mean anything. You need to look on the numbers on the back end, your reach, who's actually watching this. We don't need people from Raleigh promoting Myrtle because
I see.
Raleigh people aren't going to come visit and support these local businesses in the winter when we're dead.
Right.
And I think it's really important that our city recognizes that they have a bunch of creators that care about this city so much.
That's they're both great points. Amy, what is the best restaurant on the Grand Strand right now?
Cafe Old Vienna.
Really? Okay.
I just put up a post in a local Facebook group, and there was not one single negative comment on that post, and it had over 100 likes. I don't know how many comments. I didn't look at that, but there were a lot of comments, and not a single one was negative.
That's been around for a while. That says a lot about a place. That's consistency is one of the hardest things to do in a restaurant. What about them do you like so much?
Their food is amazing. It's plated the exact same way it was when I walked in the door 10 years ago. The staff, there's a lot of the same staff, which says a lot about management.
That's right.
The food is always good. I've never had to send anything back. I have no words as far as they are literally doing nothing wrong.
No. That's
it's like, how are you just so perfect?
That's excellent. The way you position that. You struck a nerve with me on the fact that you were aware of this, and I wonder if other diners are also aware of this. That when you see a place that has had the same staff for a long time, it says so much about the management.
Yes.
Whenever I learned this after having a couple private chef jobs, when I went for a new job, I ended up getting very good at interviewing the person who owned the house without them even knowing it. And what I wanted to know was how long they had their staff. And one time an agency told me, you're going to really like this couple. I've been dealing with them for 20 years. And I thought, if they were great people to work for, you wouldn't be dealing with them for 20 years. Sophia Edens, what's the best restaurant in Grand Strand right now? See, this isn't fair because you had time to think about it.
No, it's actually, it's really challenging for me because there's a lot that I haven't been to yet.
Yeah, me too.
And I want to pay respect to all. It's hard to call something the best, but right now there's two, and it's really hard to narrow down to one. Lava Korean Steakhouse.
You talked about that. I think you and I talked about that off air last time. I love Korean steakhouses.
Very impressive.
Yeah, Amy loves it too.
Very impressive. We've gone there for, birthdays now, and it's super affordable. You'll see the price tag for $115 for, the Korean hot pot, but it's actually pretty affordable because you can split it between 4 people.
Right. Explain to the listeners, because I'm guessing that most people in the Grand Strand aren't familiar with Korean barbecue. I think not only is it delicious, if it's a good place, but it's also fun.
It's so fun. It's so interactive. You know, you're really sitting there and enjoying quality time with the people that you're with. You're cooking your meal. They give you the raw meat. And what's amazing about Lava that I don't hear at other Korean barbecue places is that they'll let you take it home if you don't finish. As long as it's cooked, they can't let you walk out the door with raw meat. Yeah. But they will let you, you know, take it home if you're full. So.
And explain what it's cooked on, because it's right on the table.
Yes, it's kind of a circular grill. It's a gas grill. They'll turn it on for you, and you can control the temperature. You start off putting like butter down. They give you your first service of vegetables. So that includes like zucchini, onions, mushrooms, absolutely delicious. And then they start bringing the meat out. And the cuts of meat are dependent upon which, you know, order you get. Our table got the bulgogi beef, different cuts of ribeye, chicken, and my favorite, which is the pork belly.
Oh, so, yeah.
It's pretty magical, and it's so interactive. You know, you actually get to look people in the eyes, you know, having fun, having conversations. I loved it for my birthday. I think I had my favorite birthday ever there. So it was great.
I think I'm going right after this. You've been there too, Amy.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And then the second place on my list I mentioned in the last episode, which is Zayton.
Which is what?
Zayton.
Yeah.
Seriously, some great food, great staff.
You've been there, Amy?
Yeah, so they used to be Bosphorus Grill, which I don't know if everyone knows that, on 38th. And when they said they were closing, I was so devastated.
Yeah.
And then as we were finding out about Zayton opening, and they were like the owners of Bosphorus Grill, and I was so excited about it. And Sophia and I have been numerous times. It's going to be the best brunch in all of Myrtle Beach. Well, if it probably actually is.
It probably is.
Yeah. It probably
it's affordable. It's magical. It's an experience altogether.
What kind of menu?
Mediterranean, but Turkish.
Turkish Mediterranean. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, so they actually just started adding some of the Bosphorus Grill items onto the menu. So I got to get in there like next week. Maybe we should go.
I'm excited to try the viral Dubai chocolate.
I had it. It was pretty good.
It's good?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Good stuff. I believe Sophia. Oh, no. Here's what I wanted to ask you about, Amy. Pardon me for my lack of knowledge on social media, but I often see you talking about the Detroit pizza pop-up. Could you explain that to me?
Yeah, so my husband actually makes the Detroit-style pizzas. He's put quite an investment into the pans to get this going, and it's just delicious, crunchy. I don't know, Sophia could probably describe it better, but it's just a crunchy cheese ring around it.
Yeah,
the bottom is nice and crispy.
But it's his business?
Yeah.
Oh, so he does the pop-up.
Yeah,
you
he
see
does
how
the
stupid I am? Wow. Oh, it's so dumb. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, he uses really high-quality ingredients, like 100% olive oil. There's no mixtures, grass-fed beef on his lasagna pizza. The cheese and the sauce are the highest quality that you can get.
Yeah.
So it's just a really premium product, and he loves cooking for people. So it's nice. And thank you, everybody that supports him on that level.
I don't care what anybody says. Pineapple belongs on pizza.
Yes.
And you guys have the best Hawaiian pizza.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm not going to comment on that.
Everyone has an opinion about pineapple on pizza.
So where will how do you choose, or how does he choose where the next pop-up is going to be?
I feel like it just kind of falls into his lap. We'll be chit-chatting at a brewery or at a restaurant and with the owners, and they're like, oh wow, what's that? Go into a little more detail. And the next one's probably going to be a pizza cooking class at Voodoo Brewing in Myrtle Beach. It's what he's been kind of talking with the owner about, how they're gonna do that. So that'll be kind of neat for him to offer that.
Well, I'll definitely be at the next one. Sophia, have you had his pizza?
I've had it since the first day they started opening.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's great.
It's evolved into something incredible. I get it all the time. The super spicy pepperoni, the Hawaiian with the like nice thin sliced jalapenos. I love it.
Yeah.
And the one that's super unique and super interesting is the bacon clam. Is it bacon clam bake?
Yeah. Bacon clam pizza.
God, it's
that's terrific.
So
that
good.
Combo. Yeah, that's a great combo.
That came from our Connecticut travels.
I was going to say, because when I was up in New Jersey last year, my brother turned me on to those toppings, and they're great. Sophia, you also do a lot of baking, right?
I recently started, testing out the waters in baking. I've been actually collecting some old cookbooks, real old cookbooks.
I love that.
I've been seeking out vintage cookbooks, and I started. My boyfriend's favorite cookie are snickerdoodles.
Yeah.
I found a 1982 recipe, and it's absolutely perfect. I started making homemade cornbread.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. 1982 is vintage?
1982. Oh, yeah. Oops.
That's the year I was born. Thanks, Sophia. I thought we were friends.
It's right around the year I moved to California when I was 25. Wow. Well, vintage I am.
Whoops.
That's great. Amy, I have discovered recently that your daughter is quite the baker. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so she started a bakery business out of her house, and
do you charge her rent?
No, no. She just bakes all kinds of cool gourmet cookie flavors and sells them at the farmers markets, and she has a website. She was working on 2 orders today that she got through her website. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fun to see.
What's the name of the company?
Deliciosa Desserts.
Oh, how terrific. Would she ever come on?
I'm sure, yeah.
Because these are the kind of stories that just, they blow my mind. I love stuff like this, especially somebody that's her age. She's how old?
22.
Oh my goodness. Gotta get her on. Another segue. I don't know if you guys are interested in this. Don't even know if I'll use it for the show, but are you aware that, the Hudson Flea Market?
Mm-hmm.
It's just down the road in Surfside. I stumbled upon this, I guess we'll call it a stall, but it's way bigger than it must be the biggest stall in that flea market, is a guy who owns a kitchen gadget kind of place. You can get anything
I
there.
need to check this out.
It
immediately.
is unbelievable. I have approached this guy probably 4 times. And I've dropped the Hollywood names and, which I hate to do, but I need to get the guy's attention. And I said, you got to come on. He promised he's going to come on at the end of this month. But I was doing a dinner party about a year ago, and all I needed were doilies. You know what doilies are? Mm-hmm. I went to every supermarket around and I'd say, do you have doilies? They'd say, what? I mean, this is just a simple, but this place has I wouldn't buy, pots and pans there. But I can't wait till he comes on because I'm going to play a game with him. I'm going to challenge him. Do you have this? Do you have this? And I know he'll have everything. But from like what I just said, doilies to, special cheese graters, the microplane cheese grater. They have everything there.
I need that for my veggies.
Yeah, and at half the cost of, Williams-Sonoma or any place like that. Affordable. So, yeah. Cool. Okay, last question. Don't know if this is going to fit into this segment, but we'll try it anyway. We'll start with Amy. Is cooking an art?
Absolutely. I mean, look at some of the dishes. I feel like that's why I love to post pictures of the food that I'm eating, because it is art. Mm. And if it looks beautiful, it needs to be shared.
Yeah. Sophia?
It's made with love. Of course it's art. I don't care if it looks pretty. It tastes good. It was made with love. I'm here to celebrate it.
Okay, so I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'll just throw a little challenge out there. So does that mean that people like Thomas Keller, David Chang, Wolfgang Puck, that means that they're the equivalent of Mozart?
Absolutely.
Rembrandt?
Art is also subjective. So is food. So is taste.
Yeah.
It's all subjective.
My husband and I went to a brewery. We're actually going back for Valentine's Day in Fort Lauderdale, and they had a peanut butter and jelly beer, and he picked up on the jelly and I picked up on the peanut butter.
Wow.
Same beer, sitting at the same place, poured fresh, and our palates are just different.
Yeah. The beer scene is growing rapidly around here. I mean, it was, it exploded in Los Angeles about 15 or 20 years ago, but it's really happening here. And it's
my favorite, Grand Strand Brewing, the Salty Golfer, Pineapple Blonde Ale.
That's delicious.
My favorite.
Wow. I once ordered a specific beer for our restaurant in Los Angeles. Actually, it was a cider because my wife liked the handle.
Ciders are good.
It was like a Jack in a Box character. Didn't sell, but maybe 2 pints of beer in a month, but my wife had to have the handle of it.
You gotta get her Atlanta cider.
Yeah.
I tried it when I was in Atlanta, and I didn't realize they have it at the Total Wine here. It's really good.
Oh, well, she doesn't even really like the cider. She just wanted the handle.
Just wanted the handle.
Which I still have.
Aw.
And coming up next is going to be my commentary about the chicken joint that a lot of people have been telling me about.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? Before I go to the break and before I start commenting on the chicken joint, I just want to ask both of you ladies. I know you've both been there. Have either of you had the chicken bog there?
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
you both have had the chicken bog.
Mm-hmm.
So, Amy, tell me, because I've been here 3.5 years now. I always knew what chicken bog was. I've had it in a number of different places. So I feel like I don't know exactly how it's supposed to be. So it's like I can't comment on but I liked it. Did you like it?
I personally, it wasn't my favorite.
It wasn't your favorite, but you love the chicken joint. I mean, you like their chicken.
Yeah, I really like their chicken.
Yeah. So it's not like you're knocking the place at all.
Yeah, I was impressed only because I don't think I've ever been to a place that served chicken bog. I'm not from here. I knew what it was, but I had never had it before, and I really liked it there. It was like a comfort meal.
Amy, do you have other places that you do like?
Yeah, so there was a place called Prosser's. This is going way back. It was like a special place. Our family always met up whenever they were in town. That's where we would take people. And they closed down, and the entire staff moved over to Judy Boone's and started the same recipes over there. And that was kind of where I was introduced to chicken bog for the first time, and that's kind of always been my favorite. And maybe it was because that's the first time experience.
I cannot believe you're saying this. Now, I just said the whole chicken bog scene is new to me. But I have told probably 50 people that my favorite chicken bog is Judy Boone's.
I love it.
I've gone there and gotten takeout just chicken bog. It is so terrific.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
And the other thing, too, that blew me away about the chicken joint, their chicken salad.
It's incredible.
Absolutely.
Is it
It's
not?
their mom's recipe. It's incredible.
I love this stuff. Oh, man. I'm telling you, I've said this a million times. I've been to the culinary schools and all this kind of stuff. And it's recipes like this that just really blow me away. And I'll tell you, it's very interesting. The cook there knew I was in the restaurant, and he brought chicken bog over to me to taste, and also the chicken salad, right? And I thought to myself, okay, he's going to be like any other chef who takes a down-home country recipe and he's going to spruce it up and add all kind of nonsense to it. My wife and I have this conversation all the time. Leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need grapes in it and nuts and
People
all
with
this.
grapes?
All this
Yeah.
other kind of stuff. It is phenomenal, isn't it?
I loved it. It truly felt like a comfort meal. I add a dash of hot sauce. I love my
Yum.
my Tabasco. I'll just add on some hot sauce, and then I'm good.
It was terrific, and frankly, I don't even know if I have to do a commentary on the chicken joint after this. It's a good place, and Paris, who was running the show there at the counter, she took her time with me. I guess I'm just not as bright as the next person coming in. I couldn't figure some things out on the menu, and she just had the most patience in the world. But I am so, Amy, I can't believe you said that about Judy Boone's chicken bog. Yeah, I love it. Do you like some of the other items there? As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to start throwing some people under the bus here. All right, I'm going to get a little cocky, like a Mr. Big Shot here. I have approached that. I don't know if he's the manager, the owner, or the owner manager a number of times to come on the show. The guy doesn't call me back.
Wow.
I can't believe it. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll get him on here, but I constantly I haven't on the show so far, but in public, I constantly talk up Judy Boone's. What are some of the other items you like there?
Oh my gosh, everything.
Yeah.
I'm literally, it's a buffet, so I just get a little bit of everything.
It's unbelievable. Have you been?
I
Content
haven't.
Food
I'm really looking forward to this because The more I hear about it from Amy, the more I'm dying to go.
Oh, and I'm telling you, I think it's $16.
That's for dinner. I think lunch
Yeah.
is like 10 or 12.
Wow.
It's like they're giving
Yeah,
it away.
it just blows me away. Here's the thing, and this is what I would like to talk to the owner manager about. How does he choose the items for the buffet? Because Amy, you know from being in the business that these people need to make money. They have fried fresh flounder every night, fried shrimp. This is local stuff. Now, be perfectly honest, they're not the biggest shrimp, but that's fine. They've got that chicken bog. I'm embarrassed to say, I haven't had their fried chicken, but some people tell me it's some of the best fried chicken they've ever had. They have meatloaf. They have, it's amazing what they have. But what I like about it is it's not like a typical buffet where you can sort of find these items that they just kind of like put on there to fill up space. There's nothing like that there. Mac and cheese. It's incredible.
That is incredible. I'm very turned off from the word buffet.
Me too.
You don't really find me at buffets, but this one is very intriguing.
This one is local. Like I said, it was Prosser's before. It's been around for years. The recipes, the menu items, the buffet is the exact same food
thing
that was on the Prosser's buffet. So.
That's incredible.
Lucky for me. Yeah. We should all go there.
I'm game.
Yeah.
If somebody asks me for a buffet in the area, that's where I'm telling them.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should make a date. The three of us will go there. It's on me. And the three of us will approach that owner and say, hey, you got to come on the show.
Yeah,
right?
yep.
Yeah. That makes me feel so good that you said that about the chicken bog. It makes me feel like I'm in the right direction.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. Terrific stuff. Okay, Amy Everhart, the Myrtle Beach Foodie Babe, and Sophia Edens, the Content Food Critic. I am so blessed to have both of you in the studio. And
Thanks for having us.
Oh, no, I
Thank you.
hope you'll come back. I really dig this stuff. In my opinion, it's what people want to hear. We can read the posts. You only have a certain amount of words you can use, but when people hear you talk passionately, and I can personally vouch for both of your characters that when you're talking about restaurants, you're honest about it. It's just an absolute blessing to have you in here. And welcome back to Talking About Food. God, I love those ladies. They're terrific at what they do. You can trust them. There's no BS with them. I like them. That's why I have them on. Can't wait to have them on again. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to forego my commentary on the chicken joint. We talked quite a bit about it. It's a terrific place. It's a good place. Yeah, and if you go, I know most people go for the chicken. Try the chicken bog and the chicken salad. Chicken salad was just to die for. I really like that. So anyway, probably going to wrap up the show now, but I wanted to make sure that you remembered what the ladies talked about, the restaurants, because I want you to know the places to go to, and if they talk about it, it's good. The first one that they mentioned was Croissant's Bakery in Myrtle Beach. They talked about Crave Italian Restaurant. Amy Everhart said that Cafe Old Vienna was one of her favorites. Sophia Edens loves Lava Korean Steakhouse. I can't wait to try that one, but I can't wait to try all of them. Zeytin, the Mediterranean Turkish place in Myrtle Beach. Obviously, the chicken joint. And another one, Amy was talking about the fact that her daughter does pastries right out of the house, and they're supposed to be phenomenal. So, check her out on Facebook. It's called Deliciosa Desserts. You can also find her at some of the local farmers markets where she sells her goods. And remember to follow Amy Everhart, the Myrtle Beach Foodie Babe, and also Sophia Edens, the Content Food Creator. So that's about going to wrap up the show for this week. Hope you enjoyed, and always remember, you are your family's private chef.